welcome back to my channel. This is a long overdue video. My twins are 18 months now, and this is my list of must-have items for newborn twins. There are so many blog posts out there for what to put on your baby registry. It's actually really overwhelming when you're doing it. There's just so many options. So this is our list 18 months later for items that we could not have lived without, some items that we may have had but didn't use a lot of, and some items that are just nice to have. First thing, two-way zipper pajamas. Preferably if they have little animals on the feet, because those are the cutest. But seriously, there's so many cute outfits out there, but you need it to be practical. Nobody wants to be dealing with 20 buttons at 2 a.m. when your baby is crying because they're hungry and you need to change their diaper and you can't get them dressed fast enough. The two-way zippers are great. You just zip up from the bottom, change their diaper, on to the next thing. Two-way pajamas are really the only way to go. Speaking of diaper changes, you need a butt spatula and butt cream. We ended up with, I think, 3 different kinds from our baby registry, but the one we ended up using is what they sent us home from the NICU with. And it was great. Within 24-48 hours, you would see an immediate relief. And next is changing pads. So we registered for 2. We registered for the Kikaru, which was highly recommended, but also more expensive, and then the MUNCHKIN changing pad. Honestly, we probably would have been fine with 2 of the MUNCHKINs, because when they were newborns, we bought the puppy pee pads and we would put them on top of the changing pad so that way if there was any accident we could just fold it up and then throw it away, so we weren't constantly having to clean the changing pad. And while the Kikaru is nice and it's firm and it's sturdy, we would have been fine with just having 2 MUNCHKINs. The next couple items have to do with feeds. So we didn't nurse, but I did pump, so they did get breast milk, and then also formula. So the next couple items are coming from my experience with pumping and formula feeding. Somebody gave us their Baby Brezza bottle dryer, and at first it was, it's big. I thought it was taking up too much space on the counter. I didn't think we were gonna use it. We ended up using it all the time. I don't care which kind of drying apparatus you get, but it is so helpful. Especially when the next suggestion, if you're using bottles, is to have a lot of them. So we had 20 of the 4-ounce bottles. That way we always had 10 at a time, and we were only washing the bottles twice a day, because I was already having to wash pump parts all the time, and then when you were throwing bottles on top of it, it just was so much work. Yes, it's expensive. 20 bottles was not cheap, but it made life so much easier, and I feel like we had a lot less stress with just our day-to-day routine when they were newborns because we didn't have to clean bottles all the time. We also used the pitcher method. So we had 2 Dr. Brown's pitchers, and so we used it for breast milk and for formula. It really made it easier. We just made it once, and then we could just pour everything, and then we were good to go. You can look up pitcher method online. There's tons of stuff about it. And then also a breast pump. So I was also fortunate that a friend had donated her Spectra portable breast pump to me. So I used my insurance and paid for the upgrade to the LV. Now that's a wearable breast pump, and if it wasn't in COVID times and I wasn't gonna be going back to work and working from home, I probably would have used the LV more, but that wasn't in the cards because I had babies during a pandemic. And the LVs are pretty pricey, and I had a better output from the Spectra, and I could be mobile because it was portable. So you really have to see what's gonna work best for you, but being able to move, whether it's a baby Buddha or the Spectra, or just there are portable options. You don't have to go with the really expensive wearable. We received so many recommendations for the TWINZ pillow, and we did receive one on our registry. However, we found it to be really bulky and really heavy. We were also in a smaller apartment at the time, and because they weren't nursing, it just really wasn't convenient for us. And when we were discharged from the NICU, we were having to sideline feed. So for us, the 2 BOPPY pillows, not the BOPPYs that were recalled, but the C-shaped, Those ended up being really, really useful for us because we could do one at a time and sideline feed on it. And then when we were no longer sideline feeding, we could kind of sit them and hold their bottle and they would sit there. So we preferred the BOPPYs over the TWINZ, but I've heard so many good things about the TWINZ if you're nursing. Next would be a baby wrap or a baby carrier, whichever you'd prefer. When ours were really little, most wraps I think start at 6 or 7 pounds. I can't remember, but I found the Moby wrap to be the best because it felt really secure, whereas there were a couple other wraps that were really stretchy and I felt like they were gonna fall out, but they were also very tiny, so that could be part of it. But for me, the Moby was amazing. And then once they got big enough and can go into a wrap, we had tried the Ergo 360, a Lily Baby, and then we ended up with Happy Baby carriers. And those, they're just really lightweight, they're linen, and it was just super easy to put them in, and it was baby sleepy dust as soon as you put them in it. So highly recommend a wrap or carrier once they meet the weight limit. Burp cloths. There is no such thing as too many. If you think you have enough, you probably need more. You will use them for everything. Everything. When we brought them home from the NICU, I think we had maybe 30-ish between what friends had given to me and then what I had put on our registry. And we ended up buying 2 more packs to where we probably had a total of 50 at one point. They were just crucial to just everything. Tummy time, just keeping them upright after feeds, you cannot have enough burp cloths. A stroller. So this is another one that's gonna be, it depends on what your needs are, but for us, it was really important that we had a stroller that had really good wheels, and not plastic wheels, but a real wheel that would last us for 3 to 4 years throughout even toddlerhood. So we ended up going with the Bumble Ride Indy Twin, and we're really glad we did. It is very heavy, not compact at all, but it is like the Cadillac of strollers. The only thing I do wish is that you could also use it for running, because eventually I would like to be able to take the twins out on runs with me, but if you want that, I hear really good things about the Bob stroller. But having a double stroller, whether it's a tandem or side by side, is really, really helpful for just being able to get around and out and about with them. A good diaper bag is also really important. So I ended up buying 2. I got one that was a backpack and one that's a bigger, over the shoulder bag. I use the backpack diaper bag for everything. It's not as big and it's a little bit, you have to kind of puzzle piece things in there, but it is so convenient having it as a backpack when we were going to doctor's appointments, when we were just going out and about. Around 3 months, maybe 3 months, we started using little bouncer seats, and those were super great to help with feed because I could sit in between them and then prop my elbows on the edges and then hold their bottles up, because they couldn't hold their bottles themselves yet. But having 2 bouncer seats was super, super, super helpful. Another item for us that was a must-have, because we were in a small apartment, we didn't have a nursery, we weren't gonna have cribs, we were really limited on the space, was we bought the Snoo Smart Bassinets. They're really expensive though, and there's kind of a lot of controversy around them. There's a lot of, groups that say they're unsafe, but the American Association of Pediatrics hasn't said that. So you kind of have to do your own research and look it up for yourself and decide what you're comfortable with. But for us, we were comfortable with it. And I was fortunate enough to be able to buy one used from a friend for about 50% off. And then they were having I think it was either Mother's Day or Memorial Day sale off, and I got another one for 25% off. So they do have a renting option, so you could rent them or you can even buy used. They hold their resale value, so for us it made sense because when we were done with them, we just sold them. I really think that's one of the biggest reasons that we have such good sleepers now, and why we were each able to get about 5 hours of sleep a night. Well, not me, because I had a pump. And there you have it. That was our list of things that we could not have lived without with newborn twins. And of course, there's so many other things that could be on this list. Pacifiers, diaper pails, diapers, baby wipes. But some of those things you're just not gonna know until the babies come home. For example, diapers. We sampled probably 5 different type of diapers, and for us, Huggies were the best diapers. We had the least amount of blowouts and incidents with Huggies. but I know tons of people who hate Huggies and love Pampers. So, you know, some of those things you're just not gonna know until you get it. But if you're having twins, multiples, or a singleton, I hope this list was helpful, and I'll see you next time.